Okay, welcome to Extra Help in 8.3 Solving Equations. Example 2 on page 317 is where we're working today. Applying equations with grouping symbols. Okay, so for this particular one, I love this question. It's a cool question. This is one that you might run into in different contexts, but pay attention closely to how you did this one, and hopefully this type of form will appear in some other question that you do in your life at some point. Probably not, but we'll hope that it does. It says on a typical February day in Whitehorse, Yukon Territory, the daily average temperature is negative 13.2 degrees Celsius. The low temperature is negative 18.1 degrees Celsius. What is the high temperature? Well, the solution is really cool, so let's follow it out and see what it says. It says let's define the variable high temperature, which we don't know, as being T. Okay, we use a capital T for temperature. So we know that the daily average temperature in degrees Celsius is the average of the high and the low. So what is the low? Well, the low temperature, it says, was negative 18.1 degrees Celsius. That's the low. And the high, again, is T. So if we add those two together, right? So do T first. T, the high, plus the low. If we add those two together and divide by 2, we will get the average, because that's what average is. If you take the one plus the other and divide by your number of terms, you'll get the average. But it tells us what the average is. It tells us that the average is negative 13.2 degrees Celsius. So whatever the high was plus the low divided by 2 will tell us 13.2 degrees. So awesome. So all we have to do now is, since we've created our equation, which was the hard part, we just have to simply isolate the variable for t. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2 to begin. We're going to end up with t plus negative 18.1 equals negative 26.4. We're then going to, actually, let's just think of this. Well, let's add 18.1 to both sides. We'll just do it that way. That will cancel that out. I'm left with t equals the difference between 26.4 and 18.1. Again, a calculator, you can do it a much different ways. We'll just use the positive negative button. I have that many negatives plus that many positives. That gives me the difference of negative 8.3. Negative 8.3. So what is that? Negative 8.3 is T, so that is the high temperature. Ooh, that's cold. In Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. So the answer is negative. I did something wrong because that's not what the book says. Multiplied both sides by 2, you get 26.4. Yes. And then it's, where'd the book go wrong? Oh, no, I got it right, negative 8.3. And if you wanted to check it, you go back and check it. That's right. I'm looking at the wrong bottom part. Okay, let's try a problem that has the similar type of context. So it says, on a typical day in, ooh, what a different question this is, October instead of February. And instead of Whitehorse, they chose Churchill, Manitoba. The average daily temperature is negative 1.5 degrees Celsius. The high temperature is 1.3 degrees Celsius. Estimate and then calculate the low temperature. Okay, don't look at the last example. See if you can do it without looking at that. Press pause, see if you can figure it out, and then watch the solution to see what we do. All right, welcome back. It says, so here's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to figure out the low temperature. So instead of the H, wow, we're going to use L for low temperature. The low temperature is L. So we know the average is negative 1.5. That's going to be our equivalent value. And the average of the high plus the low divided by 2 will tell us the average temperature. Well, the high we know. The high, it says in the context of the question, is 1.3 plus the low, which we have defined as L, divided by 2 will equal negative 1.5. So we'll start isolating by multiplying both sides by 2. I end up with 1.3 plus the variable L equals negative 3. Subtract 1.3 from both sides. I end up with L equals negative 4.3 degrees Celsius. So the low temperature in Churchill, Manitoba is negative 4.3. The high is 1.3. The average of those two is negative 1.5. Hope that helped. Remember, extra help is on Tuesdays and Thursdays after school. I encourage you to attend if you're having any difficulty, and if you'd like to meet with me at lunch hour, I'm always available.